Have you ever felt that persistent fatigue that sleep can't fix, or maybe even intrusive thoughts that don't feel like your own? Or maybe you're feeling being perpetually stuck, trapped in cycles that you can't seem to escape. Let me tell you something. What if this isn't just in your head? What if it's an unseen energetic reality subtly influencing your every thought, every emotion, and every experience? So here's what we're doing today. Today, I'm going to pull back the veil on this very profound truth. Our reality is literally a symphony of frequencies, and sometimes unwanted energetic guests or non-invited guests, what many traditions call entity attachments, can latch onto our personal field, draining our vitality and obscuring our true potential. Okay. So if you're ready to understand why this happens and how to recognize the signs, and most importantly, how to reclaim your sacred energetic space, then stay with me. All right. So I don't have any fancy music, but we're just going to cut right to it. Okay. For those of you that are new to this space, my name is Alchemy Earth. For over 2 decades, I've explored energy medicine, and I'm a certified advanced energy healing practitioner. I'm also the founder of Ascension Academy, so welcome. And yeah, I've been walking this path for 2 decades, and I've, trained with renowned healers, guiding over 1,000 students in the academy, and all of that good stuff. So what's my mission? It's basically just to empower you to master your energetic blueprint. So today, what I want to do with you, if you'd love to stay, is I want to invite you into a very deep topic, right? So I want to deep dive in this topic. I think that it's often kind of whispered about, but rarely fully understood in entity attachments. That's the conversation, okay? So I think we live in an era where ancient wisdom converges with cutting edge science, revealing a very fundamental truth. Reality is a vibrant field of energy and information. Everything vibrates at a specific frequency, and our energetic field, the biofield, constantly broadcasts and receives, and also dictates what we attract. Okay. So it's constantly broadcasting and receiving, dictating what we attract, including these unseen guests. Okay. So understanding this energetic interplay is not just spiritual curiosity, okay, but it's actually practical empowerment. All right. And so today we will journey into the esoteric wisdom of frequencies, exploring, the metaphysical realm where these unseen forces operate. Okay. And this is a topic that I really just could go on and on about. So it's one of my favorites. And then we're going to just illuminate why and how they form. And I think they're often misunderstood signs and the powerful actionable steps that you can take to reclaim your inherent energetic sovereignty. Okay. So today, what I want this to be, or this moment, if you will, this is about becoming, in all moments, really, this is about becoming the conscious architect of your reality by mastering the deeper architecture of your overall being, okay, of you. Okay, so we're going to bridge the gap between ancient shamanic practices and the modern vibrational space, or the vibrational science, I should say, offering a holistic perspective on energetic hygiene and self-mastery. Okay, so first I want to talk a little bit about the physics of vibration and the law of resonance. So basically, I think to comprehend entity attachments, we must first understand vibration. So everything in the universe, including our thoughts and emotions, vibrates at a specific frequency, right? So we're talking joy, love, gratitude. All of these resonate at high expansive frequencies, promoting well-being. Now, conversely, fear, anger, and shame vibrate at lower, denser frequencies, okay? And this is when we're in this space, in the dense frequency space, this leads to contraction and discomfort. So our entire being is a complex symphony of these frequencies, forming our unique energetic blueprint, which is constantly being shaped by our experiences and our perceptions. Okay. And this energetic blueprint is really the foundation of resonance which is, if you haven't heard of, the law of resonance, it's a universal law stating that when two systems vibrate at similar frequencies, they amplify each other. Okay. I want you to think of it kind of like a tuning fork causing, another to vibrate without contact. So in our personal energetic fields, harmony and coherence generate a very, very powerful, robust biofield that acts as a natural energetic, or essentially an energetic shield, repelling discordant energies, like an immune system, if you will. Okay. Conversely, dissonance stemming from unresolved emotional trauma, or let's say negative thought patterns, even limiting beliefs, creates energetic vulnerabilities. Okay. And these manifest as what we call subtle hooks or tears in our auric field. Okay. And this makes us susceptible to external influences. We are vulnerable. Okay. And so these vulnerabilities, by the way, are not weaknesses, but they're indicators of areas that require healing. Okay. So when our energetic field is compromised, it's like leaving the door open, inviting in energies that may, not have our best interests at heart. Okay. Kind of like the vampire. They're like, well, you kind of invited me in. You know what I'm saying? So this basically leads to the immutable law of resonance. What is not in resonance with you cannot remain in your field. That is law. Okay. So this means entities can only attach to you or persist within that precisely, within frequencies that precisely match their own. Okay. They cannot exist where there is no vibrational compatibility. Now, this isn't just, like a moral judgment. Okay. It's a fundamental principle of energetic physics. If your field vibrates at a high coherent frequency, lower vibrations simply cannot find a foothold. Okay. They can't find a foothold. This isn't about like fighting energies. Okay. Because often when we engage in battle in that way, it gives them more power. Okay. So instead it's about really elevating your own vibrational state, what we call your frequency baseline, so profoundly that they simply cannot exist in your space. It's almost like becoming inhabitable, energetically inhabitable for those lower frequencies that are parasitic in nature. Okay. And that's just the reality of it. The energetic world, the subtle world, the spiritual world, if you will, does mirror the physical world. Okay. So just as we can attack or become a host in our bodies for different types of parasites that are harmful, that leech, that essentially kind of hack into our systems and cause us to have like cravings of foods that we don't know are good for us or that we do know that aren't good for us, and so forth, or even becoming habitable for something like candida. This works in the same principle or the same way. Okay. And so, with that in mind, it's about becoming, again, energetically inhospitable to anything that doesn't serve your highest good, essentially. So this principle empowers us to basically understand that we are not victims of external forces, but we are active participants in shaping our energetic reality. Okay. We are literally the conductor of our own energetic orchestra. And by choosing our notes carefully, mindfully, intentionally, we create a symphony of health, harmony, and sovereignty. Okay. So what exactly, when I talk about these entities, right? What are these entities? So in metaphysical traditions, the term is really a broad umbrella for a spectrum of energetic influences. Okay. Not always as, when I say entity, I know your mind immediately goes to like certain movies you've seen, so it's not always as like the malicious spirits in that way. Okay. But often they are simply just basically energetic patterns or residual energies seeking a compatible vibrational host. Okay. And they can include, thought forms. So thought forms is a form of this. So what are thought forms? Thought forms are basically potent energetic constructs that were born from intense, repetitive human thoughts and emotions. Okay. So when energy is heavy enough, when it's, or when enough energy is given to a thought, I should say, it basically can turn into an energetic form that takes on a life of its own. Okay. And so it influences others who resonate with its frequency. And they can be insidious, often kind of masquerading as, your own thoughts. Okay. So that's one form of it. Then there's what we call parasitic energies. So these energies feed on lower vibrations like fear, anger, and victimhood. They are drawn to and sustained by these emotional states. Okay. And I mean, when I say they're drawn and sustained by these emotional states, they're often, exasperating them in their host to basically ensure that they have a continuous supply of energy, leaving, you feeling depleted, or whoever they're hosting on feeling depleted or irritable or stuck in negative cycles. Okay. The same way parasites work here. It's the exact same way. So in order for the parasite to have its food source, which is usually fried foods and refined sugars and all of that, right? It has to hack into your system, essentially take over in a way and kind of say, hey, here's the cravings of this. Okay. And that's actually how it works. So then there's the ancestral imprints and collective, residues. These are basically powerful energetic patterns or unresolved karmic loops passed down through family lines or absorbed from the collective consciousness. And they manifest basically as reoccurring negative patterns. They manifest as limiting beliefs or unexplained emotional states that feel inherited rather than personally generated. Okay. Then there's disembodied spirits, or what we call earthbound entities. So these are consciousnesses that have not fully transitioned after physical death. They may be confused or even lost, and they can inadvertently, attach to living individuals. And from there, they're kind of they're basically they're just seeking to experience life through them. Okay. And their presence, yes, it can be very disrupting and draining. Okay. So hopefully that brought you some more, clarity around what I mean when I say the term entities. Again, I'm not always thinking in terms of Hollywood entity. Yes, there's those, but those are, I would say, a lot less common than what I just described. Now, the process of attachment is almost always rooted in our own energetic state and also our vulnerabilities. Okay, so that's how they attach. When we endure significant emotional trauma or any type of prolonged stress or engage in self-destructive patterns, our energetic field can become compromised. And this basically creates tears or what we call fissures in our aura, okay, which act as, those unwitting invitations to basically lower frequency energies. Okay. So low frequency loops, persistent cycles of fear, guilt, shame, even resentment. Okay. These are particularly very potent attractors. Okay. These emotions generate a very consistent vibrational signature that basically perfectly matches and nourishes these lower energies. Okay. Effectively keeping them anchored, within your field. Okay. It's a self-perpetuating cycle. So the attachment feeds on the low vibration and in turn subtly influences the host to maintain those low vibrations. Okay. So recognizing the signs of entity attachment, I think, is the crucial first step toward reclaiming your power. And I'll say this, while manifestations, they vary, right? How it manifests varies. the common indicators I would say are similar. Okay. So maybe it's chronic fatigue. You've got, a deep, persistent tiredness, not alleviated by rest, or, as if kind of like your life force is literally being siphoned away. Then there's the sudden personality shifts, uncharacteristic mood swings, irritability, unprovoked anger, even a noticeable change in, temperament that feels foreign. Okay. Intrusive thoughts is a big one. So this is like negative, self-sabotaging, or any type of obsessive thoughts that seem to come from nowhere and feel alien. Then there's the heavy energy. Okay. This is basically like a very pervasive feeling of being, weighed down or just dense, or an inexplicable sense of dread or oppression. Then there's the repeated cycles, negative cycles. So constantly attracting similar challenging situations, toxic relationships, or experiencing recurring misfortunes. Okay. Explained on aches and pains. So persistent physical discomfort or pains lacking a very clear medical diagnoses, often localized around energy centers, or governing energy centers, I should say. Okay. Addictive behaviors is one. Financial blockages, sudden onset of, anxiety or depression, and there's so many things. The list goes on. Nightmares or sleep disturbances, difficulty manifesting, right? So if you have this persistent inability to manifest, desires or achieve your goals, as if there's like this unseen force kind of sabotaging your efforts, right? So we can go on and on. These are the things that I see most commonly in a lot of the clients and students that come, our way. And so it's all in all, it's very vital to approach these signs with discernment, right? So yes, while they can point towards, energetic interference of some sort, they may also be indicative of something, of other physical, obviously, or, psychological issues even. Okay. So I'm not going to say just take what I'm saying and like run with it. What I'm saying is, yes, always consult with, appropriate professionals for any health concerns that you have, obviously. However, when these symptoms combine with a persistent kind of intuitive feeling of energetic interference, they can strongly suggest the presence of an unseen guest. It's actually really, really common. I think we need to demystify the subject a little bit because it's more common than you think. Okay. And it's, again, not in the dramatic, like, the Exorcist way or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a common thing. The way people have candida in their gut, and, a lot of people are carrying parasites. It's just a common thing, more so than we think. Okay. And so, the key is to listen to your intuition and observe the patterns that defy conventional, any conventional explanation. Okay. Now, I want to just touch base on this real quick, and I hope this will help you. So from an alchemical sort of perspective, right? So throughout history, shamanic wisdom has really spoken of lost souls, or soul loss, I should say, which is basically, the term soul loss is a phenomenon where fragments of our vital essence become dislodged due to trauma. Or, leaving energetic voids in our field, basically, that can be filled by other energies. Okay. So from an energetic perspective, or from a practitioner perspective, when I can see trauma, there's always a pathway that's created. And so that pathway can become blocked. It can become inhabited by other energies, interferences. It can also remain charged from the event itself, and amongst a couple of other things. So, coming back to what I was saying, the shaman's sacred role is basically to journey to retrieve those soul parts, okay, restoring wholeness and power to the individual. This ancient practice highlights basically that our energetic field is dynamic, and that conscious intervention can restore its integrity. Okay. So it's really interesting because this process of energetic restoration, I think, it's deeply akin to spiritual alchemy. And this is, I've studied and, walked the path and coached people on spiritual alchemy for over a decade. And for those of you that are new to that term, Spiritual alchemy is the art of transmuting the lead of low frequency energies into the gold of sovereign high frequency light. Okay. This is not really about, again, engaging in, a battle against these entities. Okay. Which often, in my opinion, and actually does, feeds them more energy when you do. Okay. We're not going to war with them. Rather, what we're doing is really about fundamentally changing your own vibrational state, elevating your frequency baseline to the point where these lower energies can no longer, find a compatible resonance. Does that make sense? So this is literally the essence of energetic sovereignty. Okay. Becoming so coherent and high vibrational that anything not aligned with your highest good simply cannot coexist in your space. Okay. So it's not about becoming, a beacon of light that naturally transmutes. Well, that actually is what it is about. Actually, I'm going to take that back. You essentially do become that beacon of light. And that beacon of light transmutes shadows, not by fighting them, but by outshining them, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? They become absorbed in the light. They become integrated in the light. And so, for me, one of the most potent and accessible tools for this profound recalibration, if you will, is your own voice. And it has been. Your voice, which is, associated with throat chakra, right? Your voice carries a very, very unique energetic signature, a vibrational blueprint of your current state. Okay, so when utilized consciously with intention, it becomes a very, very powerful instrument for clearing blockages, number one, realigning those distorted patterns, and also restoring profound coherence to your entire energetic frequency architecture. And the very act of vocalizing with intention can shift your entire internal state and by extension, your energetic field, creating basically this beautiful ripple effect throughout your being. Okay. So the journey to reclaim your energetic sovereignty is a dynamic, multifaceted process of self-mastery. And it requires commitment, it requires self-awareness, and the willingness to engage with your own energetic truth. Okay, so let's break it down. Let's break down this transformative path into 3 actionable steps. Okay, so step 1 is awareness and identification. The initial and most crucial step is to cultivate a deep intuitive awareness of what is truly transpiring within your energetic field. This demands inner discernment and an honest self-assessment of your emotional, mental, and physical states, right? So tools that offer advanced biofeedback, like what we use inside the Ascension Academy, unique to our students, something called Resonyx, is invaluable. It's an invaluable tool here because it provides an objective mirror, basically, to see the unseen distortions and imbalances that may be, harboring attachments. And this, here's the thing, this awareness is not about fear, right? We're not trying to avoid, feeling certain things. It's not about fear. It's really more about informed empowerment because you can't address what you're not aware of, right? So that's step 1. Step 2 is dissolving the hook. Okay, so once identified, the focus has to shift now to active transformation. This isn't about confronting the entity directly. Okay, instead, it's about strategically changing your own internal frequency, your frequency baseline. So the goal is to elevate your vibration to a point where the attachment can no longer find a compatible resource, or I would say resonance within you. Okay, so when your frequency fundamentally shifts, the energetic hook that binds, the entity to you dissolves. Okay, it dissolves, and this can involve dedicated emotional release work, which a lot of it usually does. Conscious breath work is a must, I would say. Targeted sound healing, and the deliberate cultivation of high frequency emotions like love, joy, and gratitude. Okay, Step 3 is the restoration of coherence, right? We got to restore coherence. So after the release happens, the vital and ongoing, joyous work of rebuilding and strengthening and sealing your frequency architecture begins. This basically involves establishing consistent daily practices that promote energetic hygiene and reinforce your sovereign energetic boundaries. Okay. It's a vital step because it also includes practices like our meditation, the mindfulness, the spending time in nature, conscious nutrition, and setting clear energetic boundaries, most importantly, with others. Okay. It's really about consciously creating and maintaining an energetic field that is whole, that is coherent, and inherently inhospitable to any energy not aligned with your highest good. Okay. And this is actually where true energetic, resilience is forged. So that's my take on it, or my perspective. And what I'm going to do because man, I'm like up here, I have these thoughts running through my head. I'm like, I gotta share this, because sometimes when my thoughts are running, I want to share it. And it's like midnight. This is why my hair I was brushing it out. So here's the thing. It's a profound journey, I think, right? So this profound journey of energetic sovereignty doesn't have to be walked in isolation. I know it feels lonely at the top, right? On the ascension path. In the rapidly evolving realm of vibrational medicine, innovative tools are emerging to powerfully support this deep transformation. And we are here for it. I'm here for it. Okay. And one of the groundbreaking technology tools that we've been using inside Ascension Academy has been such a game changer. It's called Resonyx. And I'll just kind of let you in on what I've been quietly crafting behind the scenes and working with my clients with, because it's been, like I said, a major game changer for just healing. So Resonyx, basically what it does is it harnesses, are you guys ready for this? This is really cool. So what it does is it harnesses the incredible power of your voice as a portal into your unique biofield. So by meticulously analyzing the subtle energetic signature carried within your vocal patterns, it can precisely map the hidden emotional imprints, identify unresolved energetic patterns in the mind, body, and biofield. Okay, there's actually over near like 1,000 panels, subcategories within those panels, and pinpoint the subtle distortions that are actively shaping your current reality. Yeah, that's where we're at. It's 2026. Okay, it's not actually the thing about it, this technology has been decades in the making. It's decades in the making. It's so precise. People are blown away when they get their analysis report. They're just like mind blown. So what it does then, right? It then transforms this rich sound data into a personalized frequency pathway, meticulously designed for your specific energetic realignment. And this is a sophisticated form of vibrational medicine that interacts directly with your fundamental energetic architecture, offering a scientific and personalized approach to energetic assessment and recalibration. It's really kind of like science meets spirit because it works on quantum principles as well. So the role of the practitioner is very important. So it's both. But basically, to illustrate the profound impact of Resonyx, I want to share a brief case study. I just did a case study with almost 40 students. Oh my gosh, amazing. So this client, I'll just like name her Sarah or whatever. So she had basically been struggling with chronic fatigue and a very pervasive sense of what she was like, I just feel so dreadful, like lowest low, right? So she's going to the doctor, trying to figure out what's going on. They couldn't find a physical cause. They're like, you're fine. Traditional therapy. She'd been doing that. And she'd feel okay for a little bit, so it offered a little bit of relief. So she came, we did a Resonyx analysis, identified significant energetic distortions in her biofield. And we were able to see where the long-standing energetic attachments, were happening, past trauma, all that kind of stuff. We can see the chronic things. And after basically her implementing the protocol for just a couple of weeks. She was using her personalized frequency protocol. Basically, the pathways, right? She was able to, well, here's what she reported. She's like, man, okay, my energy is up. That feeling of dread that she'd just been carrying around for years, she's like, I don't know, where is it? Okay. And then she just had this new profound clarity, of she just had clarity in her thoughts. The mental fog of just, and like, what am I doing here? What's my purpose? It was like she couldn't explain it really. It was really hard for her to put in words. She basically described just this general feeling of lighter, feeling lighter, more like herself. She was like, I didn't feel like myself all these years. And so she felt like more like herself than she had in years. Now, it wasn't a quick fix, right? But it was a profound recalibration over a period of weeks that allowed her own system to release the energetic burdens it had been carrying. Okay. And so that was what was so amazing about it. Just the growth zone that's happening. I'm just loving it. So here's what I want you to remember all in all, because this is getting really long now. So I want you to remember this fundamental truth. You're not broken. Your energetic signal has simply, perhaps even unknowingly, drifted from its natural optimal resonance. Okay. But within you lies the innate divine capacity to restore that perfect coherence and to become fully sovereign and powerful and protected within your energetic field. Okay, so by understanding the profound interplay frequencies, you can unlock the extraordinary power to release everything that no longer serves you, and your highest good, right? And to align effortlessly with your truth, right? With your magnificent potential. Okay. So if this message resonates with you right deep in your soul, if you feel this undeniable call to explore the deeper unseen architecture of your being and you're ready to step fully into your complete energetic sovereignty, then you can apply for our next upcoming spot in the frequency code program. And this might just be the next transformative step for you, right? The one that you've been searching for. And what I love about it is we're not just focused on throwing information at people, right? It's not just a course. This is an actual invitation into a journey of profound self-discovery and energetic mastery. Okay, where you will learn to command your own frequency and to become, a conscious, deliberate architect of your most desired reality. And so if you feel that resonance, if your intuition guides you, you can access the link to learn more and apply for the program, the upcoming study. And I'm excited. And I want you to remember this, that your healing, your transformation, and your ultimate freedom begin in resonance, not effort. Okay. So you can choose to live in resonance, choose to live in your power. Thank you for joining me on this journey.